And, he's one of my heroes because of it. This is my 4th year teaching. I'm much more organized, we have more time to cover the material, and I kind of know what I'm doing now. So, anyway, go ahead.
I'm Maddie, and signed up for this class because you talked it up a lot in my freshman year design art basics class, and it sounded cool, so I said, oh, I'll sign up.
I'm Jessie, and I don't know, I just kind of took it because I like learning about history in a more cultural way, not like this is this war, this is that war. This is more interesting.
I know. Yay. Looks like so far all the right people are in here. That's the key. Yes.
My name's Josh, and I really like history. I've taken a number of different history classes, and I thought this would be a new perspective for me.
Yes. Okay. And that is one of the big differences in this class. Is one of our primary sources are the images themselves. And so when you think about prehistory, what are the primary sources for prehistory? Art, because there's no writing. Everybody thinks of communication in terms of language, but we're going to, what art history does is it looks at the images and then tries to figure out, what it says about the culture, why it looks the way it does, etc. So almost to a person, maybe not the first year, because that was a hard class. People were frustrated. But I was just with 3 people that took it last year, and 2 of them being seniors, and they said that was the best class I'd taken in high school. And it's not, I can't take all the credit. I think I'm a good teacher, but it's just the subject matter, because we're talking about what it is to be human in this class. Why do people do what they do? Why do people bury their dead a certain way? What do people think about the afterlife? That kind of thing. It all comes into play. And then realizing how art is not just pretty pictures on the wall. It is used every day. Politically, it's huge, used for power. And we'll study, instead of wars, what we'll study is how the leaders have used art to show their power. And talk about, there's a wonderful, it's called The Rape of Europa, of Europe. Anyway, what is it called? Rape of Europa? Is that an art piece of artwork? Anyway, it's about what Hitler did when the art, does anybody know about what happened with the art during the time Hitler was during World War II? He stole art from all the countries. He destroyed art that he thought was degenerate art. He was a frustrated artist because he didn't get into art school. Okay, so he hated modern art, and so all of the art museums like the Louvre and etc. all took their art into the country homes and hid it and all this stuff. So, I mean, right there you start to realize that art is just not this pretty thing that hangs on the wall. It makes a difference to people. And you think about symbols and what they mean. So anyway, it's going to take a while to get started, but we are going to, we'll zigzag for a while, and then we'll kind of be on a steady path. All right, so any basic questions? I'm thrilled to have you in here. It sounds like all the right, the first year I think I had 23 people signed up. Did that stop doing anything? I think it's still recording. Oh, I took this away. Duh. So, sorry, Seema. And 23 people signed up. They looked at the book and they turned around and went back to the counselor's office and dropped the class because they thought, oh, another fun art class. And this is an amazing class. It is a hard class. I kid you not. But that doesn't mean it's a bad class. You'll love the heart. I mean, because you're just going to love studying this class. And one thing I will brag about is that my students have, with the exception of one person, have all gotten 3s, and every year the scores have gotten higher. So I've gotten more and more 4s and 5s. So the one person that didn't pass it really, the content, this is a college class, and the content was really above her intelligent level. So she did as best as she could, and got a 2, but so this class, what people say at the end, because you're going to complain about the tests, they're going to be really hard. Rarely does anybody get a perfect score on my tests. There were a few last year that managed to. But so, a B is a really good grade in this class, and I've had people that have gotten Bs and have scored 5s on the exam. So that gives you an idea of the rigor of the exams I give you. But it's taken me a while to figure out how to do grading in this class. Because I didn't want people not to take it because of the grade issue. So I have options for you to get extra points. And it's kind of a win-win situation. If a grade is very important to you, then, and I imagine for most of you it is, you'll have an option to do additional assignments. And when you do those additional assignments, you're going to also get better grades on your exam because they're supplementary. Okay, so look at your handout. Can everybody see it? And I do have lamps, which I'll get out, and I haven't gotten those out yet because I know it gets really dark in here. Okay, so the required assignments are your grade is mainly going to be unit exams. So there's 2 parts to the exam. There's multiple choice, and then there's also essay part of the exam, and the exams are based on the national exam. So they've changed a lot since Joe was in the class, because the first year I was just fighting for air. I mean, I was working so hard, I can't even tell you how hard I worked that first year, and we had to cram it into 2 quarters, so it was whew. But and Joe did quite well on the exam. So but anyway, but some of the options I give you on your exam, you may retake them if you want to, and I will not penalize you in any way, because the point of the exams is to learn the material and to give you a feel for the national exam so that you are very prepared to take this exam. And have any of you taken AP exams before? Okay, do you understand what the national exam is about? Mm-hmm. And the results? So like I had at least, if you get a 5 on the exam, like when you go to Iowa State, they will give you 6 credits, which is like 2 art history class credits. So that's thousands of dollars worth. And the exam is about 120 or something. And last year, I'm very disappointed. A lot of the kids ditched the exam and didn't tell me they were going to do it, and because they were afraid. And I know they would have scored well enough. Usually, if you score 3 or above, you get college credit for it. So, you trust me. If you do the work in this class, you will be very well prepared for the exam. The first year, I didn't know. I was scared. I was afraid to have my students take the exam, and Joe was one of the brave ones that took it, but he did extremely well. And I will, when we get closer to the exam period, I'm going to be telling you guys, take the exam. You're going to surprise yourself, because generally my kids get either what I expect them to get or they get higher. So anyway. So if you want to, you can retake if you do really poorly on the multiple choice, and that's more knowledge recall. You have to, you're building up a vocabulary. And this is stuff you're not familiar with. You've never had an art history class. Most people don't know what it is, which is, I think, why people don't sign up for it. And then it also doesn't count as a requirement. But trust me, it can change your life. I studied art history. That was my major. When I was in college, I got a BA in art history, and then I went on and got my teaching. So then I did more studio, but I love this class more than anything. Okay, second thing, now this is different. This is one change I've made from last year. I want you to keep a notebook, because there's going to be a lot of material. Now at the end of the class, if you don't want that stuff, a lot, because a lot of it's going to be printed out things. You can give it back to me, and I will just reuse it. But what the notebook is going to be is an accumulation of all the study guides and help aid. Well, there'll be a glossary, etc., and that will help you study for the test and the tests. Your notebook, and I'm going to give everybody one. I just have these. You'll probably have more than one. You know, you could get a huge one, but if I were you, I would just you could maybe keep a bigger one at home and then just get a skinny one or something. And then you can just transport notes back and forth. So you do not have to keep these notebooks, but today I'm going to give you one. And then if you get your own, you can do it. Like I said, they've been used before. Here's a special one with the teacher's name on it. So everybody get a notebook. And see, they're ragtag. They've been used.
You just hand it to me.
So grab a binder. Okay, the other thing, I'm going to have you use dividers. So I'm going to kind of force organization on you. So for today, and again, these are ragtag. You can either just get some colored paper and do 3 holes, or you can get the kind with tabs, however you want to do it. For today, I'll just give you, see if I have enough, or you can each have a yellow one and a blue one. So every unit, I want you to have a divider between. And just by putting this in your notebook, you're going to get points, because I think it's really important.
Yeah, I've got some
So,
in the binder.
do these-
Okay.
Do you stay here?
Oh yeah, you can leave them here if you want to. Here, you've got to use that. There you go. And then it opens. That's got a lock on it. So, thank you for asking that. You can have a locker in this room. We're going to go, as soon as Seema gets here, we're going to go down and check out your books. The books are so big and heavy. And if you carry them around, they are going to get so tattered. So what we're going to do is you're going to have a book at home and you're going to have a book here. So you don't have to carry it. So it'll be easier on the books and easier in your back. And there's also copies in the library if you want to just go into the media center if you have a class off. I know some of you have full schedules. Did everybody get 2 of these?
I only got.
Okay, so one of them is going to be, what do we call the first category? It's just going to be, let's call it supplemental handouts. So just write on here, supplemental handouts. Trying to write on Seema's. I'll do Seema's for her. So just write supplemental handouts. And some of them will be like the art history grading policy would be a supplemental handout. So anytime I hand out something that, like I'll give you, one of the things you're going to need to do is learn how to what was I going to say? Supplemental handouts you're going to need. Oh, learn how to talk about art. And so I'm going to give you a vocabulary list because there are words that you're not used to using. So there's kind of vocabulary words that you can use, etc. Okay, then the next one is going to be your first unit. All right, so in the first unit, and we'll just go according to the book. Is called, I think it's called, what is it called? Just go by the title in the book. We will not cover every chapter. The intro to art is what I want you to read for tomorrow. but you don't need to take. Okay, they call it art before history. So it's going to be 1. What you'll put on the divider is 1 art before history. You can call it prehistoric if you want to. And then I want you to put a little more information, and as soon as we get our books, I'm thinking, I told them we'd be down there at 12:40. So let's go right now, and maybe we'll meet Seema on the way. And so you need your card to check out. You're going to check out two art history books. I think I can pause this.